Welcome. This is Deflationary Tech, and you're in a state of DeFi. Looks like Elon Musk is walking away from $44 billion. $44 billion deal with Twitter. This is like a soap opera. It looks like a relationship that has gone bad. At first, Elon Musk was pledging to rid Twitter of controlling speech. Also, it wanted to take care of all the spamming that's been going on. Then he wanted to have Twitter open source. After walking away from the $44 billion deal, Twitter is pledging to sue Elon Musk. Looks like they're going to be doing it in Delaware and Court of Chancery. It basically seems like a mess. Have you ever been with somebody and realized, man, this person's not who I thought it was? And I feel like that's the situation with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is realizing Twitter isn't worth $44 billion. If we check out let's check out Twitter's check out Twitter. It's at $32.65 right now. Within 5 years, it seems like the stock has been stagnant, basically. And its highest was $77. And that's when all the anything tech was going up. The market cap for Twitter is around $24.9 billion. So basically he's going to be paying, I'd say, around 60% more than the actual market cap. It's a bad deal. If he doesn't go along with the deal, he's going to be sued for $1 billion. Remember, Elon Musk also is into crypto as well. He has purchased Bitcoin. He's really into Dogecoin. And he's still into Dogecoin right now. Let's check out what he says. It was around 16. Yeah, right there.
Said that people should invest in crypto. Um, in the case of Tesla, SpaceX, and Elson, um, uh, you know, the SpaceX and Tesla and myself all did buy some Bitcoin, um, but it's a small percentage of our total cash and near cash assets. So, uh, not all that significant. I also bought some Dogecoin, and Tesla accepts Dogecoin for some merchandise, and SpaceX will do the same. And I intend to personally support Dogecoin because I just know a lot of people who are not that wealthy who have encouraged me to buy and support Dogecoin. So I'm responding to those people, just people that when I walked around the factory at SpaceX or Tesla, they've asked me to support Dogecoin, so I'm doing so.
Because Dogecoin, I think, has come down a lot. It's down about 80, 90%, or it's down a lot. And that's the reason why you came out and said that you still thought there was value there.
I said I support Dogecoin, and I'm doing that.
Can I ask you one last question? As I noticed that you're going to unleash a humanoid robot to be unveiled on September the 30th. I wonder if there's anything more you could tell us about that.
Well, I hope that we will have
I wonder if the mic was muted the whole time. Jesus. All right. So that's the inflation rate. Anything else I want to show you guys? Oh yeah. Let's talk about the Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin halving. All right. So after every 210 blocks mined, put this in a big screen so everybody can see it. After every 210,000 blocks mined, or roughly every 4 years, the block rewards given to Bitcoin miners for processing transaction is cut in half. This event is referred to the halving because it cuts in half the rate at which new Bitcoins are released into circulation. This is Bitcoin's way of enforcing synthetic price inflation until all Bitcoins are released. This reward system will continue until around the year 2140. And that's basically showing you guys the deflationary way that Bitcoin's network works. On my Reddit, I had some questions, comments, and answers, basically giving me feedback on what I could do better. The first feedback was get a better microphone. Will do. I'll definitely get a better microphone so it will lessen the friction of what I have to say. And yeah, that works. That definitely works. Secondly, new information. Hopefully the new information that I gave you guys was about Elon Musk. That's what's going on news. You probably heard of it. But the Bitcoin halving, like really understanding the Bitcoin halving, really understanding the 4 year process allows you to be a better investor in crypto. People who really understand the halving and historical what happened in history. And that's why graphs are really good to have. Not, well, as a prediction. You can use that as a predictionary equipment. I'm not saying trading. I'm an investor. Personally, I invest long term. I've heard people trading, and man, I've tried it myself and I lost more money than you can imagine trading. So long term is the best road. If you're thinking about financial freedom, if you're thinking about changing your life-changing money, you have to think long term. It's better. And by understanding the halving events and having certain rules, like learning how to use a hardware wallet. You see the situation that's happening. Has a news about China. I can quickly check that. China news. Okay, let's check that out. Let me share that screen with you guys. China. China crushes mass protests by bank depositors demanding their life savings back. Hong Kong. Chinese authorities on Sunday violently dispersed a peace protest by hundreds of depositors who sought in vain to demand their life savings back from banks that have run into deepening cash crisis since April. Four rural banks in China central Henan province have frozen millions of dollars worth of deposits, threatening the livelihoods of hundreds of thousands of customers in an economy already battered by draconian COVID lockdown. Anguished depositors have staged several demonstrations in the city of Zhengzhou, the provincial capital of Henan, over the past 2 months, but their demands have invariably fallen on deaf ears. On Sunday, more than 1,000 depositors from across China gathered outside the Zhengzhou branch of the country central bank, the People's Bank of China, to launch their largest protest yet. More than half a dozen protesters told CNN. The demonstration is among the largest China has seen since the pandemic, with domestic travel limitations by various COVID restrictions on movement. Last month, Zhengzhou Authority even resorted to tampering with country's digital COVID health code systems to restrict the movement of depositors and thwart their planned protests, sparking a nationwide outcry. This time, most protesters arrived outside the bank before dawn, some as early as 4 a.m., to avoid being intercepted by authority. The crowd, which included the elderly and children, occupied a flight of imposing stairs outside the bank, chanting slogans and holding up banners. Wow. Man, this is what happens when government have way too much control over the people. Bitcoin protects this.
Realtor.com is guaranteed the funnest way to...
All right, guys. I got some commercials.
Search for a home for fun.
Realtor.com is so fun. I play this game where I set my minimum price at $1 million. Check it out. 2 infinity pools.
Oh, infinity fun.
Or I draw an area around my favorite celebrity's house and pretend we're neighbors.
Oh, hey.
Or they have 3D tours. I like to walk through mansions from the comfort of my own bubble bath.
You know, you can also search for homes you want to live in.
Mind blown.
Go to Realtor.com or download the app today. Realtor.com, guaranteed the funnest way to search for a home. For fun.
A massive protest over frozen bank deposits turned violent in Zhengzhou in China. Police clashing with demonstrators on Sunday. Demonstrators who were angry that some rural banks have kept millions of dollars frozen since April. At the time, the banks said they were upgrading their internal systems, but customers say they've heard nothing from the banks about the matter since then. The protest was among the largest in China since the pandemic. For more on this, I'm joined by CNN's Stephen Jiang in Beijing. Extraordinary scenes. What's behind it? What's being done about it?
Michael, indeed, such an extraordinary scene to see more than 1,000 people show up on Sunday morning to stage this rare protest in front of the provincial branch of the country's central bank, demanding their money back. But that's also why the provincial authorities went to such great lengths, as you mentioned, even tampering with these people's health QR codes, which is such a basic necessity for anyone in China to leave their homes these days. But that effort really failed after a nationwide backlash, which is why this protest eventually took place, with demonstrators really training their fire at the local authorities, hurling the Chinese national flags and chanting slogans, with some banners accusing the local police of using violence against them and even calling for human rights and the rule of law. But their peaceful tactics really didn't make their protest last that long. After a few hours of standoff, you could see hundreds of local security personnel, many plainclothes agents charging towards this crowd, forcibly removing everyone, including the elderly and children. Anyone who resisted got kicked and punched, as some sustaining injuries and got sent to local hospitals, according to some protesters. And most people got taken to nearby makeshift detention centers. But these protesters' actions really have garnered a lot of sympathy and support from around the country, because people feel they could relate to their situation, as these people were mostly low-income people who put their life savings into these banks because of their faith in the country's banking system. But then they, of course, lost almost everything. And their plight is especially being shared because the economy here is being battered by the country's continued zero COVID policies, with a wide range of industries really under growing distress. And this, of course, is also happening in a very sensitive year politically, as Chinese Supreme Leader Xi Jinping is expected to assume a precedent-breaking third term later this year, and his whole legitimacy reputation very much built on this idea of the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. So this kind of incident's huge embarrassment for him, for sure. That's why we've seen the local authorities there take such extreme actions to suppress this peaceful protest, because they're so worried about a tinderbox situation. They simply do not want to see any sparks that could ignite more anger and frustration, not only in their province, but across China. Michael?
Yeah. Bitcoin protects this. Bitcoin protects this situation from even happening. Those people not being able to get into their banks, their livelihood, their life savings being taken away from them. They may or may never see that money ever again. Some of them are being put into detention areas, probably gonna get charged later on because they can't feed their family. Yeah. Bitcoin protects this, definitely. So this is the state of DeFi, and I'm Deflationary Tech. I'll talk to you guys later. Like my dad said, if you knew better, you do better. Peace.